Right, so well, welcome back to Build the UCAT, and we are aiming to build the cat, and the name of the cat is UCAT. Right, whichever way you like it, belling the cat, skinning the cat, but the name of the game is the journey started again, which is one, as I said to you, the title of this video, which is the date with the destiny. The next few months of your life will actually decide where you land up in life. I keep on saying it to you numerous times, UCAT is a game changer and a life changer. Now, given how intense the competition is these days, well, UCAT particularly will decide where you end up in life. If you want to be something which have to have a DR in front of you, doctor in front of you, these next 3 months or so will decide. Everything starts from step one. Step one, not only the prep, step one actually is how and when to book the UCAT exam. UCAT exam is mostly all about strategy, right? So that means strategy doesn't even include preparation of UCAT. Everything is strategy based. That's why I talk about my UCAT program. So everything is strategy in UCAT. That strategy starts right at the top. Step number one is booking. Now, when you are to book the UCAT exam, right, firstly, now, these are the key dates. So there we go. So UCAT test dates. So there we are. So I'm on the UCAT website shouting out a few names. Righty, hey. Shouting out a few names and a few dates, not particularly the names, shouting out a few things here now. Now, this is what I end up seeing altogether, right? So I end up seeing something which is the dates, right? Hopefully, if you're booked a UCAT, hopefully you've been strategic. I talked about this in my last video, and I just want to try to go into a little bit of a greater detail about this. Right, okay, here we go. 17th of June is where the whole registration, 6 a.m. BST. That's when booking opens. You will always, straight away, you book it. As I mentioned again, also, I keep on saying that be strategic, not only in your prep, right from when and how, when to actually book your UCAT. 17th of June, you straight away register. Right, number one. As soon as you register, as I mentioned to quite a few students before, registration is done. Now, I've got two schools of thought. Should I book it straight away? Right, of course, yes. Number one, if you are to book it straight away, please make sure you have a gap of minimum of 6 weeks if you are, even whether you're a first timer or second timer. If you're a first timer with absolute just starting off with prep, you need to give yourself minimum of 8 weeks. Ready? So number one, you register and you book straight away. Once you register and you book straight away, so you've got to give yourself minimum of 6 to 8 weeks, preferably if you're a first timer just starting off with the prep in the month of June, which is, or not started prep, you should be booking your test somewhere around in the last week of August. Righty, okay. Last week of August or first week September. Right, not too late. Right, okay, here we go. So 17th of June, that's when we start. Testing starts, first date available is 7th of June. Right, and so on, booking deadline and so on. Last test date is 26th of September. Don't delay too much, number one. So first, register, book. Strategy number two, when I'm to book, all I'm trying to do is simple. I'll wait for a couple of weeks or 3 weeks to see where do I stand. And based on that, based on my performance, I will decide what date it is. But do whatever you want to, but try and make sure, do not book it very near to the deadline. As I said to you, first week September is your bottom line. Should there be any change in plans of life or whatever life throws at you, uncertainties in life, you already have a buffer. First week of September, possibly in here, 26th of September, should you wish to book, there's a tiny catch to it. Should you wish to book, you might be able to find a few dates. But, having said that, there is a possibility, whichever city you are in, hopefully a UK, Australians have already started, by the way. Whatever city you are in, there's a massive and a major possibility you might not even find the dates, should you wish to reschedule. Right. Number one, so done. So strategy number one, as I said to you, is a date with destiny. On that date, whatever your exam date is, last week August or first week September, you're literally, sorry for the exaggeration, but some of us don't even understand the weight of this UCAT. I will share with you some stats to prove it to you how intense the competition is getting now. Ready? So 26th September, anything which is last week August, strategy number one, register and book straight away. Last week August, first week September, done. Strategy number two, wait for a couple of weeks or 3 weeks, and then you book anyways. Give yourself give yourself time period of 8 weeks. Forget about anybody who says to you online, oh yes, 3 weeks and so on. Number one. Number two, 3 weeks is absolute no exceptions. do exist, but majority of us might not be able to. 3 weeks is just an outlier. 3 weeks in the simple, hands down, an outlier. Ready? Now, as we continue any further, what is this UCAT all about? I keep on saying to many people, this UCAT, when we look at this particular UCAT, it's just about strategy. Here we go. So you're looking at altogether, so you've got a bunch of questions, which is 184 questions, right? So these 184 questions on your screen is what you would see. These are the 184 questions that we see here now. In these 184 questions, right, so here we go. This is 44 verbal, you should know this by now, 44 verbal, 35 decision, quantitative is 36, and 69 situational judgment. Right, now, first thing done, you book the taste. Now comes down to the strategy, right? Whether you are a part of my UCAT program or not, well, this could just help you. When you ever do anything in life, you have to have a goal. Right, what's your goal? You can't just sit down and aimlessly start prepping. Right, okay. Each and every verbal reasoning section so has a question, and make it more interesting is challenging. If anybody says to you, all right, just prepare like another GCSE or A-level exam, boo, that person is throwing pokies at you, so it's absolutely not cooking up stories that person might not even have. That person, should he have cracked or she have cracked it, she would have cracked it way back early 2000s or late 1990s. Right, things have changed dramatically. Now, every question, every subsection, verbal, decision, quant, situational, 44 questions. Now, look at that, you've got 30 seconds. 30 seconds per question is what you've got. Right, have you ever done an exam, A-level exam in time frame, which is per question, 30 seconds for per question. Next, similarly, decision making, you get somewhere around 60 seconds or 63 seconds, or just about 1 minute maximum amount of time given per question in decision making. Right, 35 questions, 37 minutes, and in here 43 seconds, and so on. In here less than 43 seconds. In situational judgment, you get somewhere around 23 seconds a question. Boom! That means I'm doing 69 questions in 26 minutes. Ready? Okay. Now, as we said to you, you need to, because it's a date with destiny, on that date you need to be in prime mental state with prime preparation. How are you scored, right? You are scored out, each subsection is out of 900. You end up getting a scale score. So there are two types of scores that you end up getting. First one, they end up calling it a scaled score. Scale score is they will end up giving you what's your score for out of 900. That's literally what is your score out of 900. So what did he get for verbal reasoning out of 900? What did he get for decision out of 900? What did he get for quants out of 900? And so on. In here, situational judgment is just bads, right? Setting up the goal now. So when you look at this, I exclusively have this for my members of the Build the UCAT community, but I'm just sharing that information with you. So what is the goal? I've got my test sorted. I've got the strategy now. I can't just aimlessly start prepping for my UCAT or just go for a subscription from online platform and just blindly do it. No, first and foremost, sorry to say that. The methods that they talk about, I can guarantee if you've watched any of my previous videos, the method that they talk about, whether that's UCAT question bank you're talking about, Medify, MedEntry, it is as good as, sorry, maybe that's just my opinion, these guys, they are good if you treat them as just as a question bank, that's good. But if you look at the methods they offer you, no, I can guarantee you none of these questions can be done in 30 seconds. None of this decision making could be done in 63 seconds. None of these, because they are using conventional GCSE ways of doing it, because UCAT is time consuming. You've got altogether 111 minutes of playtime, which is 22, 37, 26, and so on, if you add them all up together. So you would have altogether roughly around 111 minutes or so thereabouts of these questions that you would get. That means in these 111 minutes or so, or just about 114, and you got the idea, isn't it? 111 minutes, I need to smash these 184 questions. Righty, okay. So I can't be using conventional strategies, GCSE strategies, intensive reliance on, I call them calculator addicts. Can't be relying too much on the calculator. Right, so what's the plan then? Well, it's strategy. That's what I talk about. Ready? Okay, starting with goal setting. So firstly, remember, if you're not part of my program, just try to find out faster ways of doing it. Ready? So number one. So we talked about scale score. Everything is out of 900. Next, what is the raw score I need? How much do I need? Firstly, your overall goal should be average UCAT score has to be 700 plus. I'll repeat one more time. If you are to get an admission, if you need to get your foot inside the interview room of your desired university, you are aiming for an average score across all the sections, across verbal decision, average score across all sections 700 plus. Competition is heating up. I'll share some stats with you. Now, so you said, okay, so if I need to get 700, if I need to get 700 here, if I need to get 700, what do I need to do? How much? This should be your question. What is your score you're aiming at? The score which you're aiming at, people, here we go. Right, this is what I talk about. Competition is intensifying. 2019, if you watch here now, from 2019, do we see the number of students were 29,000. Keep going up, 36,000 students in the UK only. I'm not talking about Australia. Australia is 15,000, 18,000. Competition is more intense there. 35,000. Now watch. 2024 last year, there were 37,913 students. Right? 37,913 students are there. And it is predicted this year it would most likely to hit 14,000 students sitting for the UCAT exam. And remember, the number of seats, medical seats, dentistry seats, places, the number of places available for dentistry, number of places available for medicine is still the same. Competition is intensifying. Ready? Now think about it. Right? Where do you belong? Out of these 40,000 students who will hit, buddy, there's only 8,000 to 10,000 seats available. There's only 10,000 seats available, right? I'm just combining everything, medicine, dentistry all together. There is no more than 10,000 seats available. There is no more than 10,000 seats available. Now you need to do, are you doing anything special about your prep? Your goal is to get 700 average score, 700 average score. How many students are aiming to sit for the UCAT in 2025? 40,000 students aiming to sit for the UCAT in 2025. Right, this is, by the way, part of the details that I share with my members of the Build the UCAT community, people who are using up my course. This is the whole detailed strategy that I've got. Righty, so this is just strategy. Now, this is here. Out of the 40,000 students who sit, there are just about less than 10,000 places available. It depends. Where do you? Are you going to fit in this 10,000, or are you going to be the remainder of the 30,000 who might not even have a place and might think of, oh dear, I've got my A-level grades, I've got my A stars and A's, but I don't have the UCAT score. Guarantee you, probability is very low for you, because nowadays UCAT, the universities are looking more towards UCAT, because there'll be many students who will get A's. Then what's the deciding factor? UCAT is the deciding factor. Who in the UCAT is the deciding factor? Who in the UCAT it is? Your average score, overall score, or scale score, or what is some universities, whenever there's a tie between multiple candidates, they look for what is your score in verbal reasoning. Some of the universities look for exclusively verbal reasoning score if there's a tie. Some of them look for decision making exclusively. Some of them look for quants. Abstract is not there. It used to be there in 2024. Abstract in 2025 is not there. Right, so 700 is your goal. Now, firstly, you need to decide, I have to do something special. Are you doing something special, or just knocking about, trying to do a handful of questions from Medify, MedEntry, UCAT? No. Right, okay, now, here we go. What do I need to get, as I told to you before? What do I need to get the 700? I've got 44 questions, 35. What do I need to get? Here we go. This is what I call the raw score. Choose your goal. If you're looking for altogether 700, if you're looking for altogether 700, by the way, this is based on 2024 and previous scores. So everything is pre-2025, before 2025 UCAT. All these are. If you need to get a 700 in verbal reasoning, if you need to get a 700 in verbal reasoning, you are aiming for nothing below 29 or 30 out of 44. How are you going to get it? Think about it. Might look easy to you, right? But if I'm looking for this one, or I might looking for 29 or 30, let's keep it 30, or 32, anything above 30. If you aim for, again, so aim higher. So if I need to get 30 out of 44, how are you going to do it? So that's your target score. Your goal is set now. You hit that, verbal reasoning done. 700 got it. What do I need to get out of altogether 36? I need to get 25 out of 36 to get actual hit my target score or scale score. This 700 is your scale score. This is all these scores which I'm mentioning to you, 29 out of 44, 30, 25 out of 36. These are called raw scores. How much do you need to get? So 29 out of 44, 25 out of 36. Decision making, as I said to you, no, these are again based on 2024. The number of questions were low in decision making 2024. Now the number of question decision making pumped up to 35. Your average score you're looking at is something to do with 26, minimum of 26. We are still uncertain, no data given to us, so we can't figure it out. So you're looking at a minimum of 26 out of 35 questions for you to hit a minimum of 700. You can scroll down, now watch, right? You can scroll down to see how the competition is now. Right, to be in the top 800, all right, let's start with here. To be in the top 800s, this is what the cream of UCAT is. This is the 1% of the population of the candidates who sit for the UCAT. These guys are, should you be, the person who's listening to this, are you aiming for Oxford, Cambridge, blah, blah, top universities, cream universities? Well, you got to be in the top 1%. Or minimum 750 plus for you to aim that. You get that, any and every university is going to invite you for an interview, that's guaranteed. It just depends on the rest, how do you handle. So if you want to be safe rather than sorry, you're looking at anything above 750. Here you go. You can take a snapshot, screenshot of this to get you, that's your target score, right? Think about it. If you're not part of my program, you should be doing something special. Ready? Now, let me show you now some more data here. These are the verbal reasoning. It is this. In 2024, this was the average score. Verbal reasoning, people got 601. If somebody got 601, boom, right, that person didn't make the cut. If this person made 620, these are not the people who are making the cut. These are not the people who are making the cut. You're looking for average score of 700. Might as well show you. This is Australia, New Zealand. Watch this. This is decile ranking, which is decimal. Means this person who's a 9th decile means this person is 90% of the applicants are below him or her. He or she is in the top 10%. He or she is in the top 10%. Look, this is where UK is heading. This is, by the way, data for those members of Build the UCAT community who are from Australia, New Zealand. This is what you're looking at. You are looking at 2024, your score was, look how it's just going up and up and up and up. 2,920, 2,920, 2,900, oh, 3,000. Now you're looking at 3,001. And prediction is, now it will shoot up to be in the top 10%. That means that 90% of the population, the candidates who sit for the UCAT are below you. So you need 3,100. Next. So now I've got data for 2024. Right. So this is what you're looking at. These are the average scores. Do I have decile rankings? There we go. That's for the UK. Right. That's for the UK. Right. You're looking at, that's for the UK, the top 10% of the students. This is 9th decile, which means 90% of the students who pay for the UCAT are below them. This person, student, he or she is in the top 10%. Look at the data. If you want to be in the top 10%, buddy, you're looking at 2,920. You're looking at excess of 7,030 as your score, average score. If you got to be, this is what I kept on saying to you. You need anything except average score of 700. 700 times by 4, 2,800. This will put you in the top 20%. That means if you're 8th decile means you are 80% of the applicants are below you. Think about it. That was the only reason I made this video, just as a wake-up call. Just that you know, you're about to start the journey, right? You need to do something special. If you're doing something special, what is something special? You've got to be aimed for the 1% further down the line. So, right, I can't share this information because people who paid, it would be unfair for those who pay. They would say, why are you sharing this data? Right, okay. So that's the only reason. People who are part of the Build the UCAT community, they might have... might not be fair on them why this gold dust information is being shared with the public who are not members. Righty, here we go. So that is where, this is the goal setting video, your date with destiny. That means whenever you book your exam test, from that day onward, that day will decide where you end up in life. Don't even think of retaking the year yet. Righty, that was a good one. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and we'll keep coming up with more videos on strategies and